Howdy folks, Turbo here, back with some more of the Abandoned Forest. And it's day 6, midsummer, and I've been doing a lot of logging. Unfortunately, I ran into some technical issues. I actually recorded episode 24 at the start of logging this all off. Then I went into edit, and unfortunately the game audio hadn't captured. I had an issue with the setup on my PC. So it was just me talking for like 23 minutes with no game sound, so decided to just skip that. And then I streamed a little bit where we did a bunch of logging. So we've already taken a triple load over. We've got the Tatra truck with the 2 trailers. And we learned a lot from that. That access road I made is way too steep. Had a lot of trouble with the truck wanting to roll off the cliff. So that was fun. So we're going to have to redo the access road, but in the meantime, I'm going to get this all cleaned up. I've got a bunch of smaller logs here that were turned into wood chips, and looks like maybe the trailer isn't situated quite right. So let's grab another log and throw in the wood chipper here. The logs are a little squirrely. Come here. Oh, you're wanting to pull in, but we need to pull you into the chipper. There you go. This wagon here. Thought I had this turned on. Turn on belt. Okay. Yeah. Oh, is this going to turn into a troubleshooting episode? Why don't you want to spill in there? Oh, there it went. It just wasn't lined up with the collision, I guess. With the trigger, I mean. Alright, we're good. Just wasn't quite lined up with the trigger. You know what? Let's turn the brake on. It's pretty steep over here. But anyway, we're just getting cleaned up here. I'm scooping up sawdust. We got a lot of that to gather up. And doing a little wood chipping. And we've got the Tatra over there at the top of the hill. Gonna get some more big trees cut. There's just a whole lot of logging to go on over here. Be quite the operation. But anyway, that first triple load we took over to town made about 70 grand. So we pretty much paid off the tree harvester and the triple axle trailer rental, basically, because I ended up sending it back. We paid for that with the first load, so that was good. So everything else from here on out is just covering expenses and profit. This little tractor is not very powerful. But we're getting some sawdust scooped up. We do high gear. Come on, little thing. You got this. Or not. I got this little homemade barrel weight back here. It's a barrel full of concrete. Kind of helps balance it out, but 45 horsepower only goes so far on this steep hill here. So we'll just keep her in low. L4 works out pretty well. You can usually go forward and high. Get tired of range shifting all the time. So we'll get this dumped and then we'll get another log thrown in the chipper. Unfortunately, the wood chipper won't tip into the gravity wagons, as I've noted in the past. So I've got it tipping into the TDK here. What's going on with this thing? Seems like these trailers are kind of finicky. I like them because they hold a lot and they pull well. Alright, that's going to pull that in. What's your problem? Can't look up there. I've noticed stuff drifts downhill over here because the hill is so steep. So I don't know if that's what's going on. Let's get it a little closer here. Maybe that's a little too tall. Maybe that's what's going on. And it's above the trigger. Let's try lowering that conveyor down a little bit. Got it up pretty high. What was the key for that? There we go. I think it was just too high. That seems to be working better. It's just too high for the trigger to catch. Alright, little tractor, back to work. What are we doing over there? We've almost got that log in. Let's get another one thrown in the chipper here. Pull in, there you go. It'll gradually pull them in. But the wood harvester, it works really well. But I've got it I've got it set to cut 7-meter logs, which fit on the trailer really nice. And it's nice and fast. So it's way faster than using a chainsaw. But I think it'll be worth it. Come on, tractor. There we go. And I think I mentioned in the episode 24 that I ended up deleting. The digging into the ground issue turned out to be a recent change to Gearbox Mod. I run the development version of a lot of stuff, a lot of mods on here, so that was just my bad. Didn't see it in the notes that there's an option now to have the tires dig in, and then today I've got an even newer version, and he set it so that when you have that feature on, it only does that in fields, which I think is a little more reasonable. It was even digging into some of the roads, which was kind of silly. So I do have that turned on right now on 2 of the tractors. We'll see how it goes when we start doing field work. If it's a little much, we'll turn it back off. It's a neat feature, I like it. It's just a little much. So I went back and I replaced I forget what the file names were, but basically where the ground was all tore up, I went back to an old save and I got the file. Replaced that. So we don't have the ground all tore up from that mod being strange. And let's see, is there anything else that's changed? I don't think that's about it. We're gonna have to, like I said, we're gonna have to rebuild the access road. It's just too treacherous with the log truck. I ended up taking the 8530 down, pulling the trailers across, the log trailers across like one at a time, and then hooking it all back together. So we'll have to come up with a different plan for access for the logs. Not sure what we're gonna do there. Oops. Looks like that log's stalled out. Or the chipper quit. Take a look. I want this thing to keep making wood chips. Trailer's not full, is it? Nope. Just get stuck here. About now. Is that too big? Come on. Munch it. Oh, this tractor's drifting downhill. Like I was saying, sometimes stuff drifts downhill on these hills. It's too far away, I just noticed. Pay attention, dummy. There we go. But even though I had the parking brake on, it drifted downhill. Just keep an eye on that. Slick grass. See if that'll pull that in. Alright, back in the tractor. A lot of running around this episode. Trying to get everything done. I forget what this barrel weighs, but we've got 560 kilograms on the front of the tractor, and then whatever this barrel is on the back. Still do a lot of spinning. Still not sure what I'm going to do about the stump grinder. I've been tempted to get a skid steer. Oh, our bucket's too low. We're dumping out. To get a skid steer with the stump grinder, because that'd be so much handier. But I don't know, that's just another expense. I do have the stump grinder that goes on the back of the tractor. It's a 3-point attacher. Can't use that, it'd just be quicker, I think, with a skid steer. But a good skid steer is, you know, 50, 60 grand, so. There is that. I still do need to buy a harvester this fall, or at least rent one. But hopefully we can get a few loads of logs through, and that'll help out the old bank account. I like this conveyor. It's on the mod hub. It's made for bales and logs, but it works well for wood chips too. Oh, we need another log. Hold that thought there, tractor. Keep feeding this guy. It's hungry. The log we need to take up for the pile. These smaller trees barely make a log. Oh, there's some up ahead there. Keep going, little tractor. Maybe should have moved the Land Rover. I think we can get by it. Oh, or we can just run into it. That's right. It's Land Rover. It's tough. Here's our full load. Also, a skid steer, I'm pretty sure would be faster picking up the wood chips as well. I really like this little tractor. It's just so much fun to drive. Doesn't have a lot of power. It's got a lot of character. Alright, get you on there, log. There we go. Thinking about it. Come on, get in there. There you go. Alright, let me run down and grab this log while I'm thinking about it. Maybe that's the last of the little logs. I thought we'd get to some tree cutting, but... Oh, oops. I pushed the wrong mouse button. Left mouse button, let's go. Right mouse button, throws. No, I don't want you on there. I want you just laying here. There you go. But I did want to cut at least one tree just so you can see how this thing works if you haven't seen one before. So let's go ahead and take this up to where it needs to go. I think we're going to start logging up the top of the hill here. Some of these bigger trees. So I guess the plan probably will be to get this cleaned up, and then it's coming on dark, so tomorrow we can hit the logging hard and get another truck full and go make some more money. Let's see, we'll straddle that stump, go around that one. Got all these nice big trees in here. Let's get this one in. See if we can get it to fall where we want. So basically you get the head up on there, and then we're going to cut it off. And I'm going to try to get it to fall to the right. Like so. There we go, that worked. Break on. I'm going to check here just to make sure it is still set for 7-meter cut length. Just want to make sure that had carried through the save. And then we make logs. So this debarks and delimbs and then cuts to length. Pretty slick. These big trees, we can get about 4 logs out of it. And we just have a little dinky guy left over. Gotta put him off separate. And that is just how easy. Although I see I forgot to change the sawdust level. It defaults to level 2, which is a little much. I usually put it on level 1. You can see how much sawdust that dumped out there. It's quite a bit. Turn that back off. So that'll be tomorrow, making logs. Probably do that guy next, so let's just park it right here. Good machine. Not super powerful, but it's been really reliable so far. Used it for like 2 days. Another log in there, and the cleanup continues. So we're coming up on here 18-19 minutes, so I think I will call it quits. It's getting a little dark as well. Not have any. Here, we got an extra light. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned up, and we'll see. I might try to do a logging, cutting, and loading episode next time. That's what the original episode 24 was me getting started loading logs and whatnot. So, but we'll see how it goes. This will soon all be hay, but we had a lot of logs to go through. So, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.